Hi parents! Today I wanted to talk to you about guidance strategies, which is a lot more gentle way of viewing discipline because as you can hear in guidance strategies, we're guiding our child to come up with better strategies to listen or to cooperate. We're helping them take an active role in making better choices. We're teaching them how to do that on their own. We're handing some of that to them, giving them some more independence in what occurs in their lives. And that includes consequences. Sometimes guidance includes consequences. And we'll talk about that too in just a minute. But first, I want to touch on power struggles and how they relate to needing consequences and needing guidance. And I can tell you that having a lot of power struggles in your relationship with your child is definitely not fun for either of you. And so I read a really good quote this morning, and I want to share it with you about power struggles. When a child feels power with the adult, as well as power within themselves, they'll have less need to seek power with others. So in other words, they'll have healthier relationships, better connections with others, because they're not seeking to have control over everything. They're just taking things as they are. They are having choices in what happens to them. They're having choices in how they treat people. So we can also view power as a candle. We can retain our power, our control, but also give some away to our child. Isn't that an amazing thought? I just love that picture you can create in your mind of how our candle is lit, but so is theirs. We're allowing them such a gift when we give them some control over their situations. So when we have choices and we give choices to our children, when we give them some responsibility, when we create boundaries and routines and we ask their opinions regarding things, that sets a really good foundation for a respecting, trustful relationship. We are modeling to our children that we value them, we value their opinions, and we think that they are capable of making good choices. We want them to feel that empowerment. So having that trusting relationship with the routines and the boundaries and a good balance of control is so important. These are my views and they've worked in my classroom, so maybe they can also work at home. I think so, but maybe you can give it a try if you haven't yet and let me know. So as I go on, I want you to know that those boundaries, those routines, that structure is a great foundation. The next step with guidance is catching your child being good. So when they make a good decision, we can praise them for that. I'm so happy to see you sharing that book right now with your sister. I'm so glad that you chose to finish your breakfast when I asked you to so that we can move on with our day and go to the library or move on to whatever we're doing. I'm so glad that you chose to listen, and here's the reason why. You ate in time so that we could get to where we wanted to go and have fun, which in my scenario was the library. So I'm giving them reasons for my requests. I'm making it more relevant. Why does this matter? And I'm explaining why. And sometimes when we're explaining why and we're going through all of these different guidance strategies, it still may not create the results we were hoping for. That's life, right? That's okay. There are natural consequences we can create, and that's something like this. If your little one decided they did not want to put their jacket on when you asked them to, they will go outside and most likely realize it's cold, and they might decide then, I should have worn my jacket. Doesn't mean we have to make your children continue to freeze. Of course not. You could bring the jacket along, they could bring the jacket along, and you could say, do you want to wear your jacket now? It's a tangible way for them to experience why it's important to listen to somebody who may have a little bit more wisdom than us. So they figured that consequence out on their own. They felt cold, and that's why they needed to wear their jacket. And sometimes we need a little bit of those challenges. We need to learn in a more challenging way. It is what it is, right? So a good resource for teaching our children with love and logic, which is natural consequences, is the Love and Logic program. They have some amazing books. They also have a website, loveandlogic.com, with resources to support you in creating healthy boundaries and positive relationships with your child. I highly recommend checking that out. So last but not least, when do timeouts need to occur? Are they important? Should we be offering them to our, or expecting them of our children? And I would say when safety is involved, yes. They should not be around other people if they have been hurting them in any physical way. So if that's hitting, pushing, shoving, kicking, you need a break because you did not do a great job being around other people. We can explain that to them. When you're making better choices that don't hurt people, I would love to have you come back again. But for now, I need you to take a break. And then after that break, after they calm down, you can discuss what went on. You can explain the emotions that everyone felt. How did they feel? And once they have that emotional vocabulary, they can tell you, I felt frustrated. I was mad. I was angry. And you could explain if you were involved in this scenario, I felt really scared. I felt hurt. You can model using that language too. Just the more and more you use it, the more and more they will. So natural consequences are great, and once in a while, a little break, a timeout is also effective and important. So those are the tips that I have, and I just want to explain to you that I don't need to use timeouts very often at school. I don't need to be so firm and authoritative at school because I have a connection with your children, which I'm so happy to have, but that leads them to want to do good. They feel respected and they want to retain that respect and they want to keep our relationship healthy and happy. So they're not doing these good behaviors to please me, but they're also noticing that they're creating healthy relationships with their friends that way. Their friends want to be by them more when they are gentle. So they're learning ways that are naturally good for them to behave. And they're continuing on with those behaviors because they're reinforced. They're making friends. They're having fun. They're not having to take a break for pushing because they're making good choices. So I hope you learned some good tips today, and I hope you'll check out the resource Love and Logic. This is a huge issue, power struggles and discipline. I understand that. I can relate for sure. So we're just kind of touching on the surface here, and we can talk about it further. But for now, I think these are great resources to start with. If you have questions, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Thank you.